So we'll move on to the next project, which is transferring data which are being checked. Transferring data in a row which has a checkbox tick to the another grid view, which is a second data grid view. So first we start by building up our columns. So data grid view one dot column count is equal to 2, meaning we need only 2 columns. And data grid view dot column 0 dot name is equal to ID, which means the first column should be called ID and the second column should be called name, which is in programming we come from 0. So the index 0 means the first column and the index 1 means the second column. So we move on to define a variable called chkey as new data review checkbox column. So the name of this chkey name is select, and its header text is select. So it's also select, and we create a new, or we add a new column to our already existing column and name it chk, which has the name as select, whose name is select. So we add our rows, which by using the data grid view one dot rows dot add, and we populate it with some data, some dummy data. So we have one John and false meaning initially or by default the checkbox is not ticked. And John 1 and John 1 is the data of the ID, and John is that of the name, and the rest of the rules follow the same procedure. So you move on to have data grid view 2, which is the second data grid view, and it also has data grid view dot column count cost, which means it has 2 columns, and the first column is named ID, the second is named name, as we did, as I explained for the first data grid view 1. So you double click on about me UI, which is the skeleton, and which we have these codes in it. So the for loop, loops through all the rows, and what the if statement does is that it checks whether empty rows, it makes sure that the empty rows are ignored, and also it makes sure that the empty rows are ignored. And this portion of the code extracts the name and the ID from data grid view 1 onto data grid view 2, so that we can be able to transfer data which are being taken from data grid view 1 to that of data grid view 2. So we take a look at how the UI works. We take a look at how the UI works. So this is our UI. So we select the first row, second row, and these are the contents in it. So press the transfer, and we can observe that data here are being transferred to this end, which is we have the index 1 and John, we have it index 2 and Jane, we have it. So we've been able to demonstrate it. Thank you. Let me end here.